My wife and I needed a plant stand for our plants over the winter, and I got a hold of some of this Ipe wood that was from some old benches. And so I planed it down. It was kind of some nasty looking wood, but after it was planed down, it looked pretty good, pretty chocolatey, like walnutty. So this is some footage of me milling my parts. The design that popped up is a pretty minimal design, kind of like a stick, very much so a stick frame design. So I couldn't just use the parts as they were because they had the holes from when they were attached to benches. So I had to rip them down the middles and then rejoin them into wider panels without the holes in the middle. So these are now like the vertical legs, front and back, that you're seeing here. And glue, adhesives have been known to fail on this particular wood, Ipe, over time. Usually in outdoor situations it fails. So people recommend to add a mechanical fastener as well. So I thought that these bow ties would be a nice like solution, both functionally, but also add a bit of decorative flair. Because they are needed, and at the same time, if they're needed, they might as well be pretty, and if you can't make it pretty, then you gotta hide it. So I figured I'd put these on the front. I figured I would at least, and then I talked to my wife about it, and she agreed. It was a good idea to put them on the front, and it would be kind of cute, That took quite a while, so I've got a lot of footage of that. I was getting a bit frustrated at this point because this build was very daunting for me to make sure that everything came out as intended. Anyways, I made a little mistake, and I'll outline this right now. Okay, so I made a pretty big mistake, actually. Cuts were wrong because whenever I laid out the lines, I did not think about the fact that they're not copies of one another, the two leg stands. They are mirrors of one another. So now I need to fill these in, and I happen to have some Osage orange that's about this thickness. I think that over time, the two of them will age together nicely. Okay, so I did get that material in pretty quick, and it happened to work out nice because the Osage fresh looks like gold, and of course the Ipe looks kind of like chocolate. So it's a very nice combination. And then these little bow ties are made from pignut hickory. So all these woods are very hard. The dowels that I used are all custom-made dowels of flowering dogwood, Cornus Florida, and Osage. I think a couple of the dowels are made from Ipe, depending on the species, different sizes. Like 1/2 inch, 3/8. I think that was pretty much the sizes used. I didn't want to use anything as low as a 1/4 inch because that doesn't really provide much structure. So I'm lining these things out, trying to get the spacing right for the lower and upper deck, and making sure that I've got the right amount. Looks like we're good. So just double checking. And I need to use mineral spirits. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but in order to glue things up and also to oil, you got to wipe everything down with mineral spirits. So everything's been wiped and it's drying, and I guess I couldn't wait any longer, so I start the oiling process. And this takes a long time, and so I just show a couple of shots here to give an idea of the transformation in color, and then we'll transition pretty quick to the final shots after the tung oil has dried. It's a mix of tung and orange oil. I think there's a splash of linseed oil in there.
maybe a little bit of beeswax I mix into. I cannot remember at this point. But my intention is after 30 days of it curing, that I would definitely put a coat of shellac over it, over everything. So that's the goal, at least. So this is the final product after the whole thing has been oiled up. I did sand and do a little touch-up oil after this, which resulted in this being kind of the final resting place. Yeah. Plants, they love it, or at least I like to think that. The mistakes that I made kind of came off as pretty nice looking accents. I think they'll age well. That's hackberry in the upper left, Ipe upper right, and lower left Osage, lower right Osage, upper right Ipe, upper left dogwood. But it's super strong, super strong. So I stood on it just to prove it. I'm like 150 pounds, something like that. But yeah, that's my catalog photo of it. But I'm stoked with it, and my wife's happy about it.